Sensual energy has been mislabeled, misunderstood, and disciplined out of women for so many reasons. It's been framed as dangerous, distracting, even inappropriate. But what if it's actually the source of your presence, your power, your magnetism, your purpose? This isn't about sex. It's about what happens when the body turns back on, when it's aroused once again. What sensual energy actually is, okay, what it actually truly is life force moving through your body. It's sensation, awareness, aliveness, embodiment. Even children are naturally born with it before it's shamed or guilt tripped or conditioned out of them. It's not performance. It's not even about seduction or just about being sexy, although it's included. All right. Sensual energy is not just about how you look, although included. It's how alive your body feels inhabiting it. Why your sensual energy feels taboo, why it feels forbidden, right? It's because women were taught to disconnect from our bodies to be safe. Sensation became associated with danger, punishment, or judgment, even the devil. Okay? Being embodied was labeled as too much, who she thinks she is. She thinks she all of that. So the body learned to go against itself, to go quiet through religion and respectability in politics or the workplace, conditioning, survival strategies, you name it. We don't need to go into all of those points because we already know what it is, right? What I want you to know is sensual energy, it wasn't removed because it was wrong. It's been removed because it's powerful, because it's God and goddess creation, the energy of manifestation. What happens when this flame is suppressed? As we've talked about before, you feel invisible even when you're doing everything right. Overthinking, living in our heads, disconnecting from pleasure, performing confidence instead of actually embodying it, chronic self-doubt, burnout, numbness, close but no cigar. Trust me, I know the feeling. You're not alone. But I want you to know this isn't about a mindset issue. It's a body issue. It's a disconnect from the body issue. Okay? We can't think our way into magnetism or beauty or power or purpose. It has to be felt. You know the truth by the way it feels. And when you start to activate your sensual energy again, you begin to feel grounded. You feel like heavy in a room, like immovable. Like nobody can move you off of your throne, the throne being your body. Your presence fills the room without effort. You speak calmly and confidently. You move differently. You choose deliberately instead of waiting to be chosen, because your body feels inhabited. Activation, it's subtle, but it's undeniable. And people respond to you before you even have to open your mouth. You don't have to explain a damn thing. People know you by the way you feel. Your sensual energy is the foundation. It's the first flame. It's the base root chakra that we have to work through. Okay? It's the flame that makes confidence, money, and relationships possible. Without it, everything else is fake. Everything else is force. But with it, everything, people, places, and things begin to respond to you. So if something about what I just said, if anything in your body responded to anything I just said by listening to what I just said, then it's not intellectual, it's recognition. It's your body remembering. Now this work goes deeper, okay? It goes deeper into your body inside my private space over on Patreon. That's where activation happens. So become a member over on Patreon. We'll dive deeper. I'll see you there. Let's get into this video. Welcome to Alcheminity, because turning power into pleasure is sexy. I am your host and creator of this colony and the many colonies we're building around our globe. Hell, around our galaxies at this point, the many temples we're building around our galaxy. I am your queen bee, Miss Burgess, if you're nasty. AKA the Gypsy Empress, also known as Nova, also known as Honey, also known as Sunshine. If you know, you know. If you got your copy of the Erotic Siren Call Workbook over on my Patreon, helping you to remember your siren energy so that you can embody it, so that you can go out into the world and fulfill your mission and your purpose, then you know. Shouts out to my Lilith sirens. Shouts out to my Eve sirens. Shouts out to my Honey sirens. Shouts out to my Sunshine sirens. Shouts out to my Charmed sirens. Shouts out to my Luna sirens. And shouts out to my Grace sirens. And shouts out to those of you who move fluidly through all 7 sirens, meaning your chakras awakening themselves. You got to go through all of them anyway, but you have to start at the root, and that is your Lilith energy. Get your hands on the workbook, begin activating today. Now let's get into this message, y'all. There's something I want to share with y'all. Okay, something I want to share. Okay, you ready? Talking about turning power into pleasure. I've joined a dating site. And so I actually vowed I never would join another dating site again because of an experience I'd had some years ago where I experienced a stalker. It was life-threatening and all of that stuff, and I actually happened to meet him online. Yeah, it was one of those things, and it was really, really serious. I had to get a restraining order and all types of stuff, but that's not what I want to focus on, because here we have learned to turn our pain into power, power to pleasure, pleasure to purpose. And so I felt guided to join a dating site because, as you know, when we do this work in and on ourselves and we awaken our sensual energy, okay? Sensual is different from sexual energy, all right? This is your life force energy guiding every decision in your life. Doing this work on yourself, when we talk about your sensual energy meaning life force that's guiding you, doing this work in yourself, I felt strongly guided to join a dating site. But before the dating site, I joined a matchmaking service. And let me explain this, all right? When you awaken your sensual energy and it's guiding every decision in your life, it's going to guide you into the environments where the people, places, and things align to where you now are vibrationally. Now, a matchmaking service is quite an investment for people who can invest in it. But what Spirit guided me to was a matchmaking service that happens to look into who you are. Besides a financial investment, they look into who you are publicly. If you are somebody who's worthy of being in their network, because it's alignment, Spirit guided me to a matchmaking service where I didn't have to make the financial investment. They see who I am publicly and what I do publicly. They see my public persona. They like it. They respect it. I mean, they did their research on me. They know my blood type. They know everything. And based on who I am and the work that I do in my public persona, they allowed me to be in their network. They invited me in to be a part of their pool of eligible women who are high caliber, high value women, in order to match make women like myself on the level of high value men. This is what I want to explain. When you activate your sensual sexual energy and it's guiding decisions in your life, because as you know, when we're on our dark night of the soul odyssey, we didn't give a damn about dating. We didn't want to date nobody. We didn't want to see nobody. We didn't want to see nobody. Only people we wanted to talk to, only thing we wanted to talk to were our ancestors, our spiritual guides. We didn't want to talk to nobody but Buddha, Mahatma Gandhi. All we wanted to do was light candles and be on a living room floor and trying to figure out what's going on in our lives. Why are we here? And what are we here to do? That's the only thing we cared about, was surviving our dark night of the soul journey, odyssey. Love and romance and dating was the furthest thing from our mind. But once you come out of that shadow, you've activated your powers, you've risen out of the shadows into the light with all of your yummy, juicy, delicious, golden goodness. You know what your mission is. You know what your purpose is. You have to come back to the land of the living. And once you come back out, knowing who you are and what you are, you're ready to reconnect. Now you're ready. You were never ready before, but now you're ready because you know who you are and what you're here to do. And so in activating our sensual and sexual energy, it will guide you to where your tribe is. Have I ever thought about matchmaking services before? Never in my life. A matchmaking service? I thought that was just for the highly rich and highly famous, highly valued. And Spirit said to me, well, you're highly rich in more ways than one. You're highly popular in fame in more ways than one. You're highly valuable in more ways than one. You belong. And clearly, Spirit guided me to the right company who included me in their network to be seen by those divine masculines who are on my same level mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. This is what happens when you activate your central energy. These types of companies don't do this. They don't typically extend their network to people unless you're willing to pay high dollar. But because when your sensual and sexual energy guides you in the direction of what's in alignment for you, doors open up. Are you hearing me? So anyway, yes, I've done the matchmaking service, but I also joined this online, this regular dating service thing. It's called Bumble. Y'all ever heard of Bumble? What y'all think about it? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I've been on site before, then I get off, and I've been on, like, oh, it's not for me, then I get off. But Spirit is like, it's time to turn your power into true pleasure by getting back out there, you know. And I've gone on dates here and there and but the majority of the time, y'all, I am home. I'm working when I'm not flying. I'm at home. If I'm not home, I'm hiking. If I'm not hiking, I'm hanging out with my parents up in the mountains or something like that. Like I be solo dolo chilling by myself. If I want something to drink, I'll go to the liquor store and go get my tequila, or I go take myself and go sit at a bar for a little bit, have a little drink, and I'd be solo dolo doing my own thing, literally by myself all the time. Popular loner, really am. And Spirit is like, it's time for you to be seen. And so I remember having a conversation with my mom one time, and she was like, are you ever going to let somebody love you again? I was like, mama girl. I was like, of course I am, but I'm just not impressed by the caliber of men on this planet. Send me an alien. I want an alien. Send me a Thor from planet Nebulum, because the human men here on this planet, like I think my spaceship crash landed on the wrong planet, because I'm just not impressed. I'm really not. But the conversation that we had was, now don't get me wrong, you know, as I shared with y'all before, I've been engaged twice. I've been proposed to 3 or 4 times in my life. I've never had a lack of admirers or desirers. I've had love. I've experienced great love, but that was in my 18s, 20s, and early 30s. I'm 40 years old now. Okay. So it's been a good 10 years since I've been in a committed, serious, monogamous relationship. I've done dating here and there, but it's been 10 years because I wasn't sure I wanted to be in another committed monogamous relationship. I'm not sure if that was something that I wanted. It was something that was furthest from my mind because I was trying to survive. Right? On the Dark Night of the Soul Odyssey, we're trying to, we're dealing with spell work. We're dealing with healing our ancestral wounds, breaking generational curses and shit. We're literally like on the planet trying to save the planet. We're not thinking about no love and romance. Right? But as you do this work in and on yourself, and you are truly activating, if you're truly doing this work in and on yourself, and you're turning pain to power, power to pleasure, pleasure into purpose, your sensual energy is going to start to guide you to people, places, and things that align with who you are and what your mission and your purpose is. And so what I learned about just the men on the human planet, on this planet, y'all, because y'all know as divine feminines, we are in our spirit bodies. We just happen to be occupying. These are our avatar bodies, right? But we're truly fucking aliens. That's why most of us want alien beings and not the human beings. But when you truly awaken and doing this work on yourself, and you're raising up your sensual and sexual energy, it's going to guide you to people who are in alignment with where you are vibrationally. And what I understand about men now is that they invest in things. Right. And they want to see a return on their investment. If you're on a site, just for those of you ladies who divine feminine, not even ladies, but divine feminines. Okay. This isn't for my regular females. This is for the divine feminine, specifically for divine feminine. All right. If you're a female just listening to this ain't for you. Sorry. Go and find another page. There's other regular women out there talking about dating and stuff. This isn't about dating. We're talking about aligning with our divine mission partners here. Okay. This ain't about just trying to get a ring in your finger. Many of us don't even care about rings. We want land for the divine feminine. Okay? We want land because we need to build underground bunkers. We want land because we need to grow our own food. We for women for the regular women who are talking about dating and stuff like that. Y'all are more interested in like bags and shoes and belts and shit. Go to the other sites talking about dating. That's for you regular chicks. Alcheminity isn't for you. Go over there. Leave now. This is your cue to click off. For my divine feminines, it'll be an insult if you talk about some bags and some shoes and a belt. We're talking about land ownership. We're talking about growing food, building underground bunkers and shelters for our families. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about surviving the next zombie apocalypse. We're setting up for that kind of stuff, okay? I mean, we're basking in the sun too. We're putting on our sunscreen and walking around in our sexy sarongs on the beach, but we're talking about farming and gardening. We are in the market for partners who can build shit, who has the resources and the assets that can, if they don't build it themselves, they can afford to get it built because we said so. And I'm hearing, because you're worth it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Because you're worth it. Because we're worth it as divine feminines. Because that's part of the mission. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh my God. So I've learned for the masculine energy, they like to invest in things. They build things. So if they're on a free site, they're most likely looking for free access. Think about it. If you are getting back out there as a divine feminine and you are signing up and you may be on the same path of signing up on a dating site, doing like that, find a site where men are actually investing financially, because they're the ones who are actually taking love and dating and courting serious because they're willing to invest in it. And men take serious what they put their money in, what they put their time in. If they're not investing in it, they're not going to take you serious. They're not taking love or dating serious. They're not taking romance or finding a life partner serious. Why? Because they're not investing. They're not having to give up nothing to get nothing. If they're on a free site, then they want free access to you. Men respect what they have to invest in, especially when they see a return on their investment. And as divine feminines, we are return on investments tenfold. Right? This went totally left in what I was planning to talk about. Mainly because we've talked about the suppression of the sensual and sexual energy before, how it's been demonized, how it's been vilified in women. We've talked about the repression and suppression of it. We know, right? We talked about the witch hunts. We know the gravitational negative effect it had on women, divine feminine women, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, right? We know. So I try not to harp on that so much. My question is, I'm more solution focused. Alcheminity is going to be more solution focused, more science focused, more spiritual focused. What are we doing now? Now that we have the information about the suppression and, vilifying our power and it being suppressed through, the witch hunts and all of that stuff, generational curse breakers that we've had to become, all of the stuff that comes through our bloodline, through blood memory, having to break off all of those things that came through the bloodline. Like, we know that we've been there, done that. We know that we're the generational curse breakers. What now? Right? So as you do this work in and on yourself and you begin to commune with your sensual and sexual energy, you begin to commune with this siren energy that you are now embodying, that's now activating and wakening up in you. How do you follow the voice of your sensual energy? Where is it guiding you? Listening to that, right? Because if you're doing this work in and on yourself, your sensual and sexual energy is very intelligent. It has ancient wisdom. It's very intelligent. It's God. You're communing with God, right? And it will guide you in the direction of where you're supposed to go, in the direction of your dreams, in the direction of your desires, in the direction of your mission and your purpose. It will guide you into your beauty, into your confidence. It will guide you into what you're supposed to look like, how you're supposed to dress, what you're supposed to sound like, where you're supposed to be, even the types of jobs you're supposed to take, right? Me becoming a flight attendant, like, it was so hard. It was so hard in the beginning, through training and the first 2 years. Like, I wanted to quit so many times. There was just there's a lot that goes on in the flight attendant world. Y'all just don't know. There's a lot of toxic shit that happens, office politics and all kinds of stuff that happens. But I had to remember, and I have remembered, why the universe and why my spiritual guides and why my embodied self put me in position as a flight attendant. however long it lasts. I don't know how long it's going to last. As Alcheminity grows, as I work one-on-one with more women around the world who's reaching out to me asking for one-on-one help. So as membership grows, I don't know how long I'll be a flight attendant, but I know that me being there was no mistake, because while I've been a flight attendant and being embodied in my sensual and sexual energy, so many amazing things has happened since becoming a flight attendant. The reason that they've happened is because I'm in position to be seen. Your sensual and sexual energy will guide you into positions, jobs, careers, places for you to be seen. You need to be witnessed. People need to witness you. They need to experience your energy. They need to smell what you smell like. They need to hear the sound of your voice. There is something about you, okay, that is so healing to people that you need to be in environments where people can experience you. Or else, why do you exist if you're not going to be seen? You don't need to exist if you're going to continue to hide. So as you do this work in and on yourself, your sensual energy will guide you into environments where you can be seen, felt, heard, smelled, touched, taste, witnessed. Talk about turning power into pleasure, right? Yeah. What was it was something that I wanted to, I have my notes in front of me. Again, I just went off on a tangent. I have all of these notes in front of me of what I wanted to talk about, and it's going in a completely different direction. Sensual energy equals life force moving through the body. This life force moving through your body will guide you into the right environments. Again, when I talked about joining the matchmaking service, which is an investment for most people, but for me, it was divine alignment. And there was a matchmaking service that see my public persona, did their research on me, and decided to invite me into the fold anyway. My sensual energy being the life force guiding my life decisions, okay, guided me into a place where there are men that invest, that take love, dating, and matters of the heart seriously and willing to invest. Because as divine feminines, we are not for the many. We're not for the majority, we're for the few, right? And there are few that are willing to invest. There are few that are willing to invest in you and us as divine feminines. The masses and the majority, they ain't trying to invest in shit. The only thing they trying to do is get free access. As divine feminines, we don't play that shit. Invest or die. Invest or die meaning out of our lives, okay? Invest or get the fuck out. Right? So when you awaken your sensual and sexual energy, it is going to guide you to people who respect where you are vibrationally, who find it a turn on where you are vibrationally and energetically. They see who you are. They see the work you've done in and on yourself. They respect that. They honor that. They value that. They think it's sexy, and they're willing to invest in that. And so I knew I couldn't be on some basic regular dating site, because I'm not a basic regular chick, and neither are you. I don't know. I feel guided to share with y'all, for my divine feminines who's coming out of the dark and you've come back to the light in your power and your mission, your purpose. For some of you, you've not fully activated in your powers and your missions and your purpose. Like, you may know what your purpose is, but you need some help being equipped mentally, physically, and emotionally. You need some help being equipped in your confidence, in your image, in your branding, and your voice. You need to refine all of that stuff. That's what I'm here for. Okay. For those of you who are ready to work one-on-one with me, one-on-one exclusives are available. I'm back. We're back. All right. It's the new year. Many of your missions and your purposes require you to be in the public eye. Your sensual and sexual energy is guiding you to be in the public eye so people can witness you. You're not quite fully, you don't feel quite fully equipped for that yet. Work one-on-one with me. Okay? I will get you there. You're already there, but I will get you out front where your communication skills are refined, where your image and your branding is refined, where your style is refined. Okay? You'd be ready. You'd feel ready. You know it by the way you feel. Many of you haven't stepped fully into your missions and your purposes yet, because you're still intimidated by your sensual power. You're still intimidated by the attraction that your sensual power would bring. You're still intimidated, or you still fear the heat of attraction. You don't know how to take the heat of attraction, because many of your missions and your purposes require you to be attractive, and you don't know how to take the heat of attraction. I help equip you to do that. Reach out to me, Timmesha Burgess. Email me, timmeshaburgess@gmail.com. So this sensual energy is a life force moving through us, guiding every decision in our lives, if we are willing to listen, if we are willing to follow it. And it will follow you into alignment. It will follow you into the most aligned spaces for you. Again, me signing up for a matchmaking service, a service where people have to invest thousands, and all I had to do was show up, because it was alignment for me. Right? Can't be around a regular Joe Blow. It's just not going to happen. I will eat him alive and then spit him out. Like, I have come to grips with that now, that is the woman that I am. Like, that, oh, there she goes. She's a man eater. Oh, there she goes. Like, I accept that about myself now. Right? It takes a very divine man who knows himself so well that he can see me and knows how to be with me. He has the capacity to handle me, right? Just saying. I was in the car. I was in the car and I was listening to something. I can't remember what it was. But the young lady, she mentioned something about, oh, my phone's about to die. She mentioned something about custom collars. Y'all ever heard of custom collars? Like the type of divine masculine that is for me, he'll already have that made for me. He'll already know what that means. I wouldn't have to explain that. Become a member over on Patreon for our kink talks, by the way, when we talk about embodying the sensual and sexual energy and turning it into our pleasure and our power, healing, self-development, personal development through our sensual energy. That's what we talk about over on Patreon. So become a member over there, because I can't say too much here. What's the last thing you want me to say, Spirit? Because my phone's about to die. Yeah. Yes, they know this part. They know sensual energy is not just about how you look, although it includes it, but how alive we feel inhabiting our bodies. We know that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. The other talking point where I mentioned earlier. So, what happens when the flame is suppressed? We feel invisible even when we're doing everything right, playing by all the rules, and they change. Overthinking, living in our head, disconnected from pleasure, feeling like pleasure needs to be earned as opposed to being embodied. Performing confidence instead of embodying it, chronic self-doubt and burnout. All of these things we experience when we're disconnected from our bodies. Waiting to be chosen instead of doing the choosing. Right? When we fully activate the sensual and sexual energy and we allow it to guide our lives, the type of grounded energy that we feel is so immovable. Like, you enter into a room and again, you don't have to say anything. People can feel your energy and they're like, who's that girl? La, 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 la. They're curious about who you are and what you do. They come to you. You may smile a little bit, but they're coming to you because your energy speaks loud without you ever having to open your mouth. This is how powerful sensual and sexual energy is. And the reason it's been suppressed in women is because you had toxic women and toxic men trying to use sensual energy or sex as a weapon. They use sensuality and sexuality in the same category as sex, and they're categorically in the same bracket, but they're fundamentally different. But you had toxic people tapping into this energy, trying to use sex as a weapon, trying to manipulate people for basic benign bullshit, right? But we're coming out of that age now where we are using sensual and sexual energy as a toxic manipulative strategy, and we're using it to heal ourselves. We're using it to not only rise, but to thrive, to not only survive, but to thrive. We're using it to remember why we came to this planet, what our true missions and our purposes are. When you follow the voice of your sensual energy, of your siren, of your kundalini, serpent, dragon, fire, when you follow the energy of God, which is your sensual and sexual energy, which is the voice of your pussy, it will guide you to the people and places and things that are aligned to the new vibrational frequency that you're at. And after that, you don't have to try. Anyway, I'm going to leave it right there. This is going on long enough. I don't even know what I'm going to title this, because this went to the right when I tried to go left, or it went left when I tried to go right. But I'll let spirit speak when it needs to speak. I'll see y'all. I'll speak to y'all in the next episode. By the way, again, tell me what y'all think about the Bumble thing, and if y'all are on any online dating sites. Also, let me say this one last thing. I heard about Luxy, a site called Luxy, and I believe Luxy is more aligned to the divine feminine energy, to women who, have things going on in their life. They know who they are. They know where their missions are. Some of them are probably doing very well in life, or maybe they're doing all right. They're not rolling in the dough, but they know who they are, right? They're activated in their confidence. I don't know. I've heard about this Luxy. So anybody has any insight, you share it with me. Share your thoughts about Bumble. Share your thoughts about matchmaking services. If you tried it before, if it was successful for you. And yeah, we're just gonna leave it at that. Remember, as you come out of the dark night of the soul odyssey, it's time to get back out into the world and be seen, because people need to experience the magic of you, them seeing you, smelling you, tasting you. It's helping them to heal and remember who and what they are and why they came. And a lot of them are remembering they came just for you. I'll see you in the next episode. Ciao for now.